Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be creating a streaming service using Node.js and React, and so we'll just be using Node.js to serve our videos and audio files to our React front end. And so essentially I've just created a basic Express server using Node.js, and this is our main file. We've just got the Express and Cores module installed to help us run the server, and then we've got path and fs which we'll be using to load our files. We've then got over here in our client directory, we've got a React website made using Vite, and so yeah, it's just a basic site for now with a heading tag. But just as an explainer as to what this app is essentially going to do, we have these two files here, an audio file and a video file, and we're just going to split them up into chunks using Node, and then we will send these chunks over to the client to then be shown in our HTML page. And so essentially the importance of all this is for streaming services such as YouTube and Spotify. You need to be able to serve users their content quickly and to make sure it's not lagging because the files are taking up too much bandwidth. And obviously for sites such as Spotify and YouTube, they're going to get videos and songs that are many megabytes large, and they need to split it up in some way so that they can effectively share these videos and audio files quickly, and they can be received at your device very quickly. And so that's just what we're going to implement. So the first step that we're going to take is to define the API endpoint for which we'll stream our audio from, and that's just going to be a simple get endpoint. We are then going to add this code which essentially takes the assets path, which is this path here, and it's going to join it with the name of our audio file, and that's just our file path. And it's also where we're going to define our chunk size, which is 0.5 MB. And the next step now will be to define the headers for sending over the data. So these are our headers, and essentially if we take a look at all of this, it's not too complex. The range is essentially the range of how much of the file we're actually going to be take, and then the size, audio size here, is the size of our whole file. And so we're going to get a start and an end, which is going to be the current section of the audio file we want. So say we split the audio into 4 pieces, we're going to get section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4 essentially, and this is what these will be used to mark out which part of the audio file is the current section we're looking for, and then the content length as well. That's just how long the current chunk is. And so we set up these headers here, which tells us the range. We've also got the content length, and here we've got content type, which because it's an MP3 file, it's audio MPEG. And then here we specify that we're actually going to be chunking the file, so it's going to tell the client to expect more chunks to be coming and not close the connection. And then we've got a 206 header there just to specify that. The final step now will just to create our actual audio stream, and so we do that by creating a read stream of our file path, which is our file, and then the current start and end points, so that then we'll read just that section, and then we'll just pipe it over to the front end. Talking about the front end, it's time to build that now. So we go over here to our JSX, and we can simply paste this in, and we've just got a streaming audio title, and then we've also got now an audio element. And so we just need to run these two things. So we'll enter the server, press npm run dev, well, enter the client, same thing again. And so now we'll be able to view that in our browser. So now that we're in our browser, you see we've got our audio tag here, and it's got our audio elements. And so if we enter the inspect page, we'll be able to see on the networks tab over here, once we start playing, turn the volume off on that, but you can see here exactly we've got the 2 chunks of our audio files that have been sent over, and we can see all the data that we have sent over is right here in the audio tab. And so as the rest of this audio file is going to be streamed and chunked over, we will get more and more requests. As you see, they're coming in here, and so you'll see them. And so it means that the audio tag is only requesting audio when it needs it, and that way your server has less load to carry. So now we've done audio, we're going to move on to video. So video is going to be pretty much the same, so we can actually just copy this API endpoint here, because for our video it's going to be the same. We're just gonna change the name of this endpoint here to video. We can keep the assets path, we'll just change to video.mp4, and we'll keep the chunk size like this for now, so because I want to point out something, but we must also over here change that to video/mp4, and I think everything else should be in order. So now we can also come over to app, and we're going to add the code in for our video. And so it's just another title, and we've got our video in here with 400, and we've also got the source set as the API endpoint that we just made in our server, and we specified the video type, and so we can now go and test that inside our browser. So now we've opened up the site in our browser, and you can see that we've got the video displayed here, and even though it's a 16-second video watch, as soon as we start making the request, you'll see how many requests are actually being made to the server, because we've got 0.5 MB chunk size. And so the problem with chunking is that if you don't get the chunks quite right, you're gonna end up making frequent requests to the server, and that's not good, because that's going to slow your app down, and all the time you spent trying to optimize is going to be wasted. And so the best thing now is to go back into our server and adjust the chunk size, so that then we get something that would be more suitable for this video, because you can see we've made 319 requests for a 159 MB video, and that's just 16 seconds of a video. Imagine if we've got something, for example, an hour long. And so we can come over here, if we change that to something like 4,000, now we're going to be getting 4 MB with each chunk. You'll see that even though we are making many requests, these requests are now fewer, because if you remember before, they were in such a quick stream, and now we've got to just around 42 requests, and I don't think we've got any more of the video left to transfer. Yeah, 42 requests, down from that such high number. I think it was 100 and something, I can't remember now. Anyway, the point is we've saved so much time making requests to the server by just simply increasing the chunk size. And so there is no set way to actually figure this out. You're gonna have to do some fiddling, but essentially by the end of it you will have something that works well. And so if you enjoyed this, please consider liking, commenting, just follow if you're interested. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.